Hi, my name is MADJR, and I'm here today to say to y'all that today I'm rating instruments, musical instruments. And the contestants are bass, piano, vocals, guitar, and drums. You may ask, why did I choose these ones? It's because these are the ones that I played the most, the ones that I know the most. Yeah, I have played some other instruments, but I don't know them as well as I know these. So let's get to it. First, the order in which I learned these instruments, the ones I played first. First instrument I've ever learned, and this might shock you. Is piano. The first instrument I've ever played is piano. I was 9 years old when I got an electric piano, a digital piano. I don't know how you call that. And it had the glowing lights on it, and it kind of taught you how to play, and I learned on my own how to play piano from there. So it's the first instrument I have ever learned. Second instrument I've ever learned is guitar. I took classes for that. I took like 3 years of classes for that. And yeah, but the majority of things that I know today, I learned on my own. Like I took it to a next level, gradatively. Like I took it to a next level over time, but I did learn a lot doing classes. Third instrument I've ever learned is vocals, singing. I actually took classes for that because in the beginning I didn't know that every instrument works in the same scale of music, the chromatic scale. Maybe there are some instruments that work on tight scales, but let's say the chromatic scale has all the notes, right? From the whole tones and the semitones. And every instrument that is at least popular nowadays, you can fit in the same scales. And I didn't know that. I literally thought that the vocal notes were different from guitar notes. And when my professor told me that they were the same notes with different characteristics, that changed my whole life. And that's when I learned all the instruments I know today. I just basically realized that it's the same concept for everything. It's just a different approach for every instrument. So I learned all the other instruments on my own. I took 1 week of classes in drums to learn how to do fills, because I already knew how to play drums, but I wasn't good at doing fills. And I took 1 week of classes to know how to do fills in drums. But yeah, the third instrument I've ever learned was drums. And the fourth instrument I've ever learned was bass. But I kind of knew already how to play bass because I used to use my acoustic guitar and play it like finger picking as if it was a bass, imagining it was a bass. And when I actually got my first bass, I already kind of knew how it worked. Basically, I just had to get used to it because I used to practice with my guitars as if it was a bass. So yeah, that was the order I learned. But now let's rate them. And I'm not rating them by sound yet. I'm rating them as fun to play. Okay, the least fun instrument to play for me of all of these is piano, because I find it kind of hard to play. I know if you dedicate your whole life to it, it's easy to play. But like if you play other instruments and you don't focus that much on piano, it's gonna be hard. And it's kind of hard for me. Like I know how to play pretty much everything, but like chords and stuff kind of get on the way because I always forget where the notes are. I always forget. And I have to always always focus to remember. And it's kind of tedious. That's why I find it the least fun, but I still enjoy playing it. The fourth place is bass. I really like playing bass, like like stuff like that. And it's cool to play, but I don't go to it that often. Like I know it's fun, but I don't know, like it's kind of the low pitch. If you don't plug it in, it's kind of hard to listen to it. like to the notes you're playing, especially my 5-string bass, which is lower than a standard bass. It kind of gets like, it's cool and all, but you don't actually hear what you're playing if you don't plug it in. So it's cool. The third place, is vocals. I really love singing. It's something that I do every day. Every second of the day I'm singing. And it's something I really like doing. But the fact that you mess up so much when singing. Like, no matter how good of a singer you are, if you're practicing stuff and if you're testing new waters, you're gonna fail. You're gonna have voice cracks. You're gonna have strains. Like, strains not that much, to be honest, but voice cracks happen very often to me and stuff like that. So it's kind of like, I like practicing, but it gets boring that you get so many obstacles down the road. And like, if you're trying to expand your range, either up or down, high or low, you're gonna find roadblocks and it's gonna kind of bother you, where other instruments don't do that as much, but it happens too. But I really like singing. And second place, now we're getting to the cool ones. The second place and most fun instrument to play for me is guitar. I really like playing guitar. I like the sound of it. I like how it works. And even acoustic guitars, I like that. With an acoustic guitar, you can make a whole song. Like, acoustic songs with just an acoustic guitar work very well. And I like it. I do them a lot, to be honest. And electric guitars too, you don't necessarily need to plug it in to know what you're playing because of the spectrum it is. Of course, if you have like 8-string guitars, I don't know how that works that much. I did tune my 7-string to a low E, but I can still hear it, you know. It's not the same sound quality as bass. That is a very round sound that gets harder to hear without plugging it in. But yeah, I really like playing guitar, and I like doing random stuff with guitar. And it's like, when you're in a level that you're very confident with your instrument, you can kind of mess up and it doesn't really sound like a mess up. And I've been doing that a lot, and like, when I mess up, I use that as an advantage to what I'm doing next. So like, I improvise over it and it sounds cool, so I really like it. It's like an instrument that if you fail at it, you can still sound cool. Unlike vocals, like if you have a voice crack, it usually sounds weird. But in guitar, it's kind of easier. Like, if you miss a note or something, you can work around that. I like that a lot. And now, get ready. Get ready. Why is my hair going on my face? It's like, my hair is like I think Medusa, you call it? That is like the snakes that kind of goes to my face. It's like on my face. It bothers me a lot. But no, I don't want to cut it. Don't you dare tell me what to do. Yeah, why? Now, the most fun the most fun instrument to play of all time for me is drums. And I guess you can probably figure out why, because you're like, and it's so cool. Like, you move your whole body, like your arms and legs, and you're like, your whole body is getting into the rhythm of what you're playing. And it's so rhythmic. Like, drums is rhythm. And when you're playing rhythm itself, like when you're making the groove of a song, you really feel it. And that's what makes me enjoy it so much, because I feel the music literally physically. And even like the spectrum of the bass drum is so low that it kind of shakes your body when you hit it. And you kind of feel the music while you're playing. And it's very active, it's very physical, and I like it a lot. It's my favorite instrument to play fun-wise. But now the cool part, or not, is the sound of it. What instrument I think sounds the prettiest of them all? And I gotta say, when I was making up this list, I didn't even think I was gonna choose this one, because you'll understand why. Let's get to it. Sound-wise, the one I find the least interesting, let's say. But they're all cool. If they weren't, I wouldn't use them. And they're all necessary to get certain results. So getting that all out of the way, I like all of these instruments. They're all fun to play and they're all good sounding. But the one I find has like the least appeal to me is bass. Like, I like the sound of bass. It's groovy and all, but like in most songs you can't actually hear what's going on, especially the way music has been mixed lately. Like in this new age of music, you can barely hear it. Like, you can bass boost it and stuff, but like the detail of bass is very hidden in music. And the fact that bass is hard to hear, like if you never heard bass before, you won't know how to pick it apart in a song. And it's like, it's such an important part of music. Like, it puts music together. It's like the glue of a song. And if you don't have it, it sounds weird. Like, especially like if it's a multi-instrumental track, like metal music, rock music, rap music, stuff like that. I'm not talking about acoustic, because as I said, in acoustic you can kind of get away with only a guitar. But if you're having a multi-instrumental track and you don't have a bass, it sounds very odd most of the time. And bass is very important. But the fact that it can't be picked apart easily if you're not used to it, and it doesn't stand out that much unless you have like a bass solo or something, or if it's a funky song, then it gets last place in sound for me. The fourth place, drums. Ooh, that's crazy, isn't it? Yeah, while drums are very fun to play and very necessary to get the rhythm of a song, the sound of it doesn't do much, to be honest. It's like bass drum and snare drum and cymbals. That's basically what you need. Toms are there to like kind of make it fun and all, and like break apart some part of the songs and shit. But like, if you have like bass, snare, and cymbals, you're good to go. That doesn't have much to it. It's like bass, snare, cymbals. You can have multiple cymbals and have like a whole variety of sounds to your drums, but the instrument on its own doesn't offer that many different options, let's say, for the sound. Of course, you can pitch your tone. You can pitch your toms to get different sounds or different pitches. You can actually make it like more of a pitch instrument, even though it's a rhythmic instrument. But in the end, it's drums, and it's gonna be used as drums in most songs. So you get that. And in a lot of songs, especially modern music, you get like the same beat patterns also. So it doesn't really matter what drum set you're using, because it's all gonna be like the same idea behind it, to be honest. But you can make it complex, and that's what I'm trying to get at. Like, I'm trying to see it like a bird's eye view. I'm trying to see it from above and understand the whole concept around it. But yes, every one of these instruments, you can make it sound cool and sound cooler than the other. But I'm just saying in general, that's how I perceive it. Third is vocals. I like the sound of voice. I really do. But sometimes, have you ever had that experience where you have a song that you really like, song with vocals that you really like, and then you go and find the instrumental version of that, and the instrumental sound better? Yeah, I know. I've seen that happen a billion times, and it's because vocals sound cool, but because they're kind of overrated, to be honest, because there's a lot of music that sound good without it. And I think that the main part of vocals is getting a message across, because with instruments you get a feeling. You share feelings with instruments. And vocals, you kind of put words to the feelings so people can actually understand what you're trying to get across. And I think that's the most important part of vocals. But the sound of it on its own is not as important as other instruments. So by that alone, it gets third place, which is pretty high up if you think about it. Second place. That's obvious. Guitar. I really like guitar. Sounds amazing. Acoustic guitar sounds amazing. Electric guitar sounds amazing. Distortion, clean, put a bunch of effects on it, sounds great. And guitar is something that if you know how to use it, you can't get it wrong in a song. Like you'll find a way to fit it everywhere in whatever genre you want. So yeah, I like guitar a lot. And now the first one, sound-wise, that I like the sound a lot, but I don't use that often, is piano and synthesizers. Synthesizers, yeah, I like that, and piano as well. I kind of put them in the same category because you can do them with the same keyboard thingy. Wow, I sound so well educated right now. But you get the point. I like the sound of piano. It sounds very pristine, very emotional, and very clear. I know you can get muddy pianos. Like, I don't know why I'm self-correcting so much. Don't even bother. Yeah. Oh, the clouds look so pretty. Anyway, yeah. Oh, I forgot to put the light on. There was supposed to be a light in this video. Whatever. You get the point. I'm just rating instruments. And yeah, piano sounds cool. I like it a lot. Sounds very emotional. There's been a whole phase of me where I used to put sad piano music on YouTube and listen to it, like the compilations with like more than an hour of it, and just like listen to sad piano music for hours because it's really good. It sounds really good. It's very emotional. Now you'll ask, and I'm asking myself the same thing, why don't I put piano in most of my songs? And I actually put synthesizers in a lot of my songs, to be honest. So if you kind of consider them similar, that can kind of explain why I don't use piano on its own in a lot of songs. But I do have some songs with piano. Most of them I didn't release. I don't know why. I have a lot of unreleased songs. A lot. Like when I started making music, I obviously learned piano first. So I put a lot of piano in music, but like I made more than 1,000 songs. More than 1,000 songs. Especially lyrics. I used to write like 10 song lyrics every day, and I still have most of them kept because I was so into making music that I made a lot of them. And in the end, the music I released is only the ones I really felt connected to and the ones I really liked. So yeah. And a bit behind the story from where I learned how to play these instruments is like, I really liked Linkin Park back in the day, like the MADJR and Hybrid Theory album. I was really a fan of that. I was like addicted to their music. And I was like, I don't know, 10 years old? Yeah, probably. And then when I was 9 years old, I was playing piano, right? The digital one, and with synthesizers and shit. And when I got older, like around 11 years old, I learned how to play guitar because I was doing classes and stuff. And I had an opportunity to take piano classes. And I said I didn't want to because I kind of knew how to play it already. And I really wanted to know how to play guitar. And guitar was something I was looking at. I didn't know what it was. Like, where do I put my hand at? You know, like, what do I do? And yeah, it really helped me. I think one of the only instruments I actually needed classes for to actually understand it was guitar. The rest I figured out on my own. Yeah, and drums. I wanted to have a band, and I actually got into 2 bands back in the day. And my experience with bands is kind of not as good because I always have a different vision than people. I always want to do different things. I always want to put crazy stuff in the music, and people are not that into things like that. And yeah, I usually ended up in discussions and things not working out. I've been scammed kinda once, but it wasn't much, so it's fine. And yeah, I had some troublesome experiences, but it got to a point where I was like, okay, I have to learn how to do this on my own. I'm not gonna have a band. I'm not gonna have people who are gonna do stuff for me. And even if I do, I have to know how to get by on my own if ever it doesn't work out. So before I even got to my second band, before I even got to my first band, to be honest, I learned how to play drums because I really wanted to record my music. And I was like, I didn't even know you could program it back then. Like, if I knew I could program drums, I would basically probably never have learned it, which is weird, right? Yeah. I kind of knew. Yeah. I'm trying to remember. I kind of knew you could program music. I just didn't know how. Yeah, I didn't know how. I didn't know what programs to use. Yeah, I didn't know it all. So to me, like, grabbing a microphone and recording drums was easier. And yes, I used one microphone to record drums back then in a very noisy room. And that doesn't work well most of the time. And yeah, that's basically why I learned everything. And I learned, well, piano I already had when I was 9. Guitars I wanted to learn because of metal music, new metal, whatever. Drums because I wanted to have a band, wasn't managing, and I was getting like bothered by situations around bands and shit. And I really wanted to know drums and bass. Same thing for songs, recording music. Didn't know you could program bass. And yeah, vocals because I wanted to make my music and I wanted to sing. And I was already singing before I even knew how to sing. Yeah, don't know. I think I don't even have those songs anymore. No, don't want to listen to those. I didn't know what pitch was, okay? Yeah. You might think I'm not a great singer now, but if you listen to my music before I learned how to sing, oh boy, no. Yeah. But yeah. That's how I see music. It's cool. I love music. Like, music is a huge part of my life. And every instrument has their own purpose. You can find ones more interesting than others. You can find them more fun to play than others. But in the end, everything has a place in music. Everything. Like, even a cow screaming, you can put it in music. Even a fart sound. Even, I don't know, a sneeze sound. Anything. Music is a place for everything. You can literally put everything. You like it or not, it has a place for everything. And yeah, I guess this is it. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like. Don't forget to subscribe. Hope I'm pointing to the right place in the screen because I always get confused. Okay, my knowledge of directions are not good. Like, my perception of directions are not that good. Don't ask me how I drive. I drive well. Hopefully. You can check this video or this, I don't know, here probably. I don't know. How do people do that? I think they have like a diagram or something to read. Because I always get confused, like, where is what? I don't know. Yeah, click on whatever the place is that there's a video showing up here. And I'll see you all in the next video. Bye bye.